So my friends and I wanted to do something really nice for Christmas this year, and we couldn't really come upon like what we wanted to do. I happened to be watching one of Oprah's shows one day entitled Pay It Forward, and it was really inspiring. And right after the show I called my friends, I burned a DVD for them. I was like, you guys gotta watch this, like we need to do something like this. And basically that's what we did.
Everybody in this audience is up for a big challenge. I'm gonna take you at your word, because here's what I've done. I went to Bank of America and I asked them to help me do something that I've never done before. You will each go home with $1,000. But there was one catch. The audience had to spend the money on a total stranger, and they had only 1 week to do it. To document their good deeds, we loaned everyone our favorite Sony DVD Handycams. The challenge was on. Pass it on. What began as a simple idea.
Oprah Winfrey is asking her audience to pay it forward.
Do you remember Monday's Oprah? Miss Winfrey called it her favorite giveaway ever, acts of kindness.
Snowballed into a
We came up with two ideas, one for raising money and the other for collecting gifts. Our first fundraiser was babysitting, and our second was having a gift.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control. Let's go.
Chubby waist, thick legs in shape, rump shaking both ways, make you do a double take. Planet rocker, showstopper, flow proper, head knocker, beat scholar, tail dropper, do my thing. Rolls Royce, Lamborghini, blue Medina, always beaming, rag top, chrome pipes, blue lights, out of sight. Long weed, sold in, say it again, sold in, make that money, throw it in, booty bouncing, don't hear. Everybody here, get your backs off the wall, 'cause misdemeanor said
I think the true meaning of Christmas is not just like getting presents, it's giving presents. And even if you don't like get what you want, exactly what you want, at least like everyone's happy and joyful and everyone gets like at least something.
What is the true meaning of Christmas?
I feel bad for the people who don't get any presents, so I would give the people who have no present to them.
How does it make you feel when other kids don't get presents like you?
Sad.
Why so?
Because that's no fair, because our kids get toys.
Right.
Our kids don't get toys.
Are you happy that you're helping kids by coming here today?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, thank you, Jason. Merry Christmas.
I'm going to donate $300 to purchasing gifts at Walmart for 3 needy children and their families. And the third thing we're going to do is we're going to use the $400 and donate it to O2H5, Hawaii Helping the Homeless Have Hope, to Utu Langi, the owner of that shelter, and we're donating $400 so he can help with the homeless Keiki.
Sun's up, it's a little after 12. Make breakfast for myself, leave the work for someone else. People say, they say that it's just a phase. They tell me to act my age. Well, I am on this perfect day. Nothing's standing in my way. On this perfect
adults have taken this project on and spearheaded it and done this. It's an entirely student-run project, and that shows a lot of initiative and organization and commitment, and it's a very wonderful thing. That's all I'm saying.
'Cause when I've had enough, you'll hear me say, now don't you try to rain on
From KHON2 News, this is Hawaii's Morning News with Kirk Matthews and Tanya Waki, Hawaii's #1 morning news.
Welcome back. Honolulu students hope to do their part in giving back this holiday season. Damien Middle School students dropped off more than 100 toys and toiletries to the Vancouver House, a homeless shelter that helps families and individuals who are working or going to school. Punahou students also did their part. They arrived with trunkloads of gifts for the shelter as well. The Vancouver Drive shelter helps 120 people, more than half of them children. It's been in operation since 1998.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the children here and what they, why they're here and?
Sure. The program is Vancouver. This is the Vancouver House Transitional Shelter for homeless families. So the families, in order to qualify to be in here, the families need to be working or going to school. They need to have kids under the age of 19, and they need to be homeless. Majority of them sleep basically on the ground. They put blankets on the floors and they sleep on there. So the little things that we take for granted, they don't, because they don't have it. I was having an anxiety and panic attack because I was like, oh my God, they need to have some kind of Christmas here. And we got a lot of Christmas gifts this year. A great Christmas. This would be a great Christmas for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
UT came to our chapel and assembly and talked to us about the homeless in Hawaii, and he really inspired us to get involved and help with their problems. So we decided, with the $400 left from our babysitting thing, to put it towards his homeless shelter.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you.
204 cubicles, starting from number 1 there, going down this way, and then heading all the way back. So single men are in the very far part of the shelter, and this is family section here. That used to be the first 2 rows, and now it's about a third of the whole shelter. So we have nearly 350 folks in here and about 100 children. And I can.
The eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see.
Our trip to the homeless shelter was like a really eye-opener for us, seeing all the homeless people, all the families and young kids living in these little cubicles, which were their houses. And it was really sad because it's such a common misunderstanding that many of the homeless are drug addicts and they spend all their money on drugs, where people like Michael, who gave us a tour through the homeless shelter, graduated from college with 2 degrees, and yet because of the high rents and cost of housing, they too are homeless.
I graduated from Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo with a degree in political science and history. I've been all over Asia. I've got an Asian studies minor. I've worked at the Four Seasons. I've got a good resume. I just had tremendous trouble finding work. I had that job after having worked at Jamba Juice, and I got sick, and I called in sick. I had severe headaches, called in sick. 2 days later, I was fired. About 2 weeks after that, I was in Queens Hospital emergency room and finding out that I had a tumor in my head. So I had a tumor taken out of my head. I lost my job. I was in the hospital for 13 days. And when I moved back out and in with a local woman that I was staying with, a wonderful local woman who was just a savior to me. But it was her landlord that said, you know what, you've been here long enough, you have to go. We're not on my lease, and I can't have you here, so I became homeless. So I never lived in a farm.
the best of me is ready to begin. And there are days when I feel I'm letting.
I look around at all the faces and I see all the lonely people looking back at me. Rich, poor, don't matter, we're all the same. Everybody's hungry in a different way. We're clawing and climbing and kicking and screaming and fighting, but really, what the